Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Storyist. Today, I will tell you a story about a homeless girl in dirty clothes who went into a store. Her whole life changed when a stranger offered to buy her some soap. Watch the video until the end to find out what happened. Today's story takes place in Los Angeles, California. There was a woman named Katrina who was on her way to her favorite store to buy a few items for her home. Katrina liked this store because it was located next to a beautiful park with a small river in it. She would usually go for a walk in the park before doing her shopping. Today, when she finished her walk and got to the store, she saw that there was someone else there browsing too. It was a small shop, so Katrina noticed her right away. The other person in the store was a young girl with dirty hair and torn, unkempt clothing. The poor girl couldn't have been more than 20 years old. Despite how young she was clearly homeless. Katrina watched as the homeless girl looked around at the items in the store, finally settling on a small bar of scented soap. The girl picked up the soap and took it to the counter, and then started counting out her coins. But when she finished and laid all her money out on the counter, the shopkeeper shook his head. She didn't have enough money to pay for the soap. Feeling bad for the girl, Katrina stepped forward and offered to buy her the soap. The girl smiled at her surprise. Katrina paid for the soap, and then the two of them started walking toward the park together. They found a bench to sit on, and the girl told Katrina her story. The young girl had grown up in a small town on the other side of the country from here. In high school, she had loved being in the drama club, and she starred in all the school plays. So, when she graduated, she decided that she wanted to move to Hollywood and become an actress. She wanted to be in movies, but her parents didn't support her decision to pursue acting. They wanted her to go to college and get what they considered a real job. One night, the girl got into a huge fight with her parents about her future, and so the next morning, she and her boyfriend ran away to California. Things went well at first. The young girl even got set up with a few auditions, but none of them had worked out yet. And after a few weeks, her boyfriend broke up with her and kicked her out. With nowhere to go, the girl ended up on the streets. But she told Katrina she still had hope. She had one audition left tomorrow. She knew she couldn't go to a Hollywood audition looking like this. So at least she wanted to get some soap so she could clean herself up. She said that she planned to wash her hair in the river at the park. Katrina was horrified. She couldn't let this girl continue to live like this, not when she was able to help. "Come with me," she said to the young girl, and then took her to her house a few blocks away. When they got there, Katrina gave the girl the soap, a towel, and a spare toothbrush, then sent her to the bathroom to get cleaned up. While the girl was taking a shower, Katrina threw her old dirty clothes away and set out some extra clothes of hers for the girl to wear. Then she started making some dinner for the two of them. After the girl got out of the shower, Katrina could barely recognize her. Free from all the dirt and grime, she could see that the young girl was very pretty. They ate together, and the girl quickly fell asleep on the couch. The next morning after they had breakfast, Katrina took the girl to see a friend who owned an apartment complex. After some discussion, it was agreed that the girl could stay at one of the apartments. The first month would be free, as long as she paid the landlord back for it once she could. Then it was time to go to the audition. Katrina drove the girl to the Hollywood studio where the audition was being held in her car. When they got there, Katrina gave the girl a big hug and handed her a small envelope. The envelope had some money for a taxi to get home to the apartment after the audition, as well as a note with Katrina's address and phone number in case the girl ever needed for anything else in the future. The girl thanked her and said, "I promise I'll never forget this, and I'll pay you back someday." Then Katrina wished the girl good luck and sent her on her way to the audition. Days went by and Katrina never heard from the girl. She wondered if everything had worked out. Then the days turned to weeks, and the weeks turned into months. Although she never saw her or heard from her, Katrina often thought about the girl and wondered where she might be now. Before she knew it, a whole year had gone by since that day when she met the homeless girl at the store. One morning, Katrina got an envelope in the mail. Inside was a movie ticket, a few dollar bills, and a note that said, "I realized I never paid you back for the soap. Come and see me." Perplexed, Katrina looked at the movie ticket. The movie was scheduled for later that night. When the time came, Katrina drove to the theater, bought some popcorn, and sat down to watch the movie. Her seat creaked underneath her a little as she settled in and started eating her popcorn. She never expected what she would see when the movie started. After the previews ended, the screen flickered to life, and Katrina couldn't help but gasp aloud. Smiling back at her from the giant screen was the face of the young girl she had helped a year ago. Katrina would have recognized that smile anywhere. It was the same smile she saw after helping that girl get cleaned up after buying her soap at the store. It was a smile she would never forget. And look at her now. By the end of the movie, Katrina knew that this girl would go on to be a big star. That night, when Katrina got home, her phone rang. She answered, and it was the girl from the movie. They chatted for the rest of the evening. She told Katrina all about how she aced the audition and how she made a lot of great friends and connections in the film world. She was going to try and be the next big movie star. And she did it. Film critics raved about the girl's performance in her first movie. And soon she was acting in even more movies. Before long, Katrina was able to see that smiling face on the cover of all the magazines at the checkout counter at her favorite store. And to think she had helped her get her start right here in this very store. Katrina's decision to buy a bar of soap for this young girl had completely changed her life for the better. So always remember, you should never judge someone just by looking at them. You never know what kind of hidden potential they may have beneath dirty clothes or messy hair. And sometimes all it takes is one small act of kindness to change someone's life forever. If you like this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And make sure you turn on the notification bell. We'll see you in the next story.